So is last word good or gooder? Yeah, it is. We covered it lightly the other day, but that was just like in playtesting. I wanted to see how it actually did inside of Crucible, both on mouse and keyboard as well as controller. So down below will be timestamps to both of those. We'll be breaking down the feel for both controller as well as mouse and keyboard, although I will be kind of going back and forth between both of those inputs, so feel free to watch the entire video. With that being said, today's video is being sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is a free-to-play game available on mobile as well as PC now. One of my favorite turn-based strategy games that has a variety of things no matter what kind of player you are. PvP, PvE, dungeons, raids, as well as thousands of champions to choose from. One of my favorite is this Archmage Helmut, which I know looks like a warlock, but he's a titan at heart. He has incredible abilities like Time Slip and Psychic Guidance, and he pairs so nicely with my all-time favorite champion right now, Astralon, who has abilities like Divine Imminence, as well as Hellbinder. Now, Raid just released 11 amazing new champions, as well as 200 brand new missions to complete. Now, that's a lot, but there is a legendary champion waiting for you as your reward upon completing them. And if that's not enough, Raid just added 5 tough new levels to almost every single dungeon in the game. To me, these dungeons are some of the most challenging aspects of Raid. Now, if you're interested in this game, down below in the description will be a link to Raid, which greatly supports the channel, guys. And also a big shout out to Raid for sponsoring today's video. Now, back to the review. Last word. The evolutions that this weapon has gone under is too many at this point. It's gone from being the best weapon for mouse and keyboard to then one of the worst weapons for mouse and keyboard to then the best weapon for controller users, and you even had controller users on PC absolutely wrecking mouse and keyboard players for an extended period of time with last word. So let's just start from June 2020. Hipfire Grip got its first buff, essentially 1.2 times aim assist fall off, plus 15 in aim assist, plus 1.7 degrees precision hipfire angle threshold. By default, when hip firing a weapon, the center of your reticle must be over a target in order to get a crit. Otherwise, aim assist will give you a body shot. This change gives you a little leniency, so if the center of your reticle is not directly over a target, you will still get the crit if you're within its angle. By the way, this has no effect on sniper rifles, which I was really bummed out about. The main takeaway from that one, guys, is do you see that? They literally just said, you just gotta be close enough. Close enough, and we're gonna give you the crit. Now, Bungie, for some unknown reason, like I don't even know where this hipfire buff even came from, decided in update 3.2.0 with the launch of Season of the Spicer to expand that angle even more, essentially stating that hipfire grip grants plus 1 degree precision hipfire angle threshold with a 1.2 times reticle stickiness fall off distance, and again noting this is increased from the Season of Arrivals buff. I think we made ourselves pretty clear after Season of Arrivals that last word felt like perfect aim, at least for controller users, right? The weapon literally aims itself and grants you crits. Sometimes you're doing so much damage so fast, the game can't even register the bullets hitting your opponent. I'm here to tell you though, guys, last word feels even better. I'm almost surprised I don't see more people using it. Now for mouse and keyboard, let's just talk about mouse and keyboard before we get into controller. Mouse and keyboard is substantially better. And by substantially better, I mean way better than it was over a year ago, pre the Season of Arrivals buff. It was terrible. You couldn't hit anything with it. And even after the first hipfire buff, you can use last word, but you definitely had to pace your shots. You couldn't actually shoot the last word at its full optimal 225 rounds per minute. And even though this weapon has a beautiful time to kill value of 0.53 seconds, it was very unlikely you would reach that on mouse and keyboard. Now, something that was noticed here recently, and something I suspected for a very long time, because I would actually play with last word and I would use this default ornament, and I was like, wow, I feel like my shots are actually landing. And then I would apply an ornament, and then I felt like the gun just had a little too much ride, a little too much recoil. Turns out there's like a recoil bug, so just a warning for both controller players and mouse and keyboard players. Use the default ornament for last word. Eververse is literally pay to lose right now, so don't use an ornament. Regardless though, in this sandbox, mouse and keyboard, last word, manageable. Some would even say optimal. However, if you were to put a last word in my hand and say, all right, Cross, you have to decide mouse and keyboard or controller to win your ones. Which do you go with? And I still got to go with controller, because despite all the benefits and improvements to hipfire grip, which last word greatly takes advantage of, and fanfire, which also increases in accuracy with every stack, All of these things are great for mouse and keyboard players, but on controller, it's a different animal. And by different animal, I mean it just got nastier. And we've talked about in the past how when you hold a last word in your hands, especially on controller, you just feel like you can't lose. You square up with everyone, you hip fire everything, and you literally shred every opponent, especially shotgun rushers, which is what last word is designed for, as it does start to experience damage fall off at about 19 meters. But everything within that 19-20 meter range gets absolutely wrecked by last word. And in this sandbox, and we're not even talking about the combinations you can put with last word. Lucky Pants, which stack on Lucky Pants, last word, controller, it never misses. But even take other combinations, more static combinations like Lion's Rampant for that increase in air accuracy when firing from the hip. One of my favorite combos to do with DMT, works wonders here on last word as well. So overall, last word has improved, noticeably so for mouse and keyboard users, but I still find that controller for last word is superior. And all these benefits that Bungie adjusted to hipfire wasn't really a direct buff to last word, but I would say out of all the weapons, last word definitely benefited the most here. And I feel like since Bungie actually nerfed last word a few years ago, because originally people would aim down sights with last word and it was just broken on mouse and keyboard. No one does that anymore. You don't want to aim down sights. It's garbage. Always hip fire no matter what. Unless you like, I don't know, want to challenge yourself more. But I feel like since that nerf, Bungie has been just trying to make last word better for mouse and keyboard users, which they have done. They've successfully done it, but simultaneously, they've made it even nastier for controller players. So again, try last word out. If you play console, let me know in the comments below. Do you see more last words in your lobbies? Surprisingly, I have not seen hardly any last words on PC, despite it feeling better for mouse and keyboard. But if you play Xbox or PlayStation, let me know in the comments below how last word is feeling for you. Do you see more of it? I'm not trying to like promote a meta here or anything, but in a world of Felwinter's Line constantly being shoved down our throats, and even more so now in the sandbox, because I know Quick Draw being removed from Felwinter was supposed to fix all shotguns. No, we called it a long time ago that people were just going to start rocking slide shot and just never taking their shotguns off, which is exactly what's happened. And by the way, slide shot and opening shot does stack together, which I think some people didn't even know, so they always ended up rocking Quick Draw. But now people know. And in a world where folks never take their special weapon off and they're just constantly running around with their shotgun, I like that we've got a weapon like last word keeping apes in check. So guys, try it out for yourselves. Again, remember, don't use any ornaments. Still bugged for some reason. I don't think Bungie's even mentioned it. Use the default ornament. Spec it out with some exotics like Lucky Pants or even Lion Rampants. And for my warlocks, maybe Ophidian Aspects. And you'll see just how nasty last word actually is. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.